Would you look at the time? It is 7 years late to the party o'clock. So I like Mass Effect a lot. It's one of my favorite intellectual properties of all time. It's one of my favorite game trilogies of all time. Essentially, Mass Effect was 79 hours and 50 minutes of just amazing gameplay and story experience, followed by 10 minutes of slack-jawed disappointment. And boy, was the ending bad. It sucked so much that it created a vacuum through which the part of my brain capable of feeling happiness was sucked out of my skull. And I will obviously spoil the ending here so we can properly talk about how to fix it, because the ending is just as easy to fix as it is terrible, and one wonders how this multi-million-dollar corporation employing some of the greatest creative genius to ever work in the games industry managed to just fuck it up to such an extent in the first place. So you fight your way through London, almost die, go through the UFO levitation beam up into the Citadel, then on the Citadel, you walk around a bit, you run into Big Man Anderson, who's trying to do his thing, but is too injured to continue. But wait, there's also someone else there, and it's the Elusive Man. One of the coolest villains of all time, reduced to basically a joke that everyone could see coming from a mile away. Oh no, Shepard, we totally can just control the Reapers and become the dominant political force in the galaxy forever. Disregard the fact that I basically look like a cyber zombie. I just cut myself shaving. And then, depending on how the situation goes, either you kill him or he kills himself. Which, really, if we're honest, is just stealing the same bit that they did at the end of Mass Effect 1. Then you get your "Daddy is proud of you" talk from Anderson, and then you take the elevator upstairs. This is the exact point where the ending as it stands becomes shit. You're in this huge place. The child that has been haunting your PTSD dreams has returned here, and it is now here, and it is made of light for some reason. Turns out, it is the consciousness of the MacGuffin that you have been building throughout this entire game, and it explains to you that the Reapers kill all life in the galaxy every 50,000 or so years because they want to prevent the domination of the galaxy by synthetic life forms, being themselves sort of compound organic synthetic life forms. A lot of people hate this explanation. I actually like it because it makes a lot of sense. The Reapers are essentially a paperclip maximizer. They are a radical misfire in AI logic that divorced them completely from the values of their creators. This is a scenario that is in some ways realistic because a lot of experts on AI right now in the real world are warning of such a thing happening. And now Laserboy explains to you that you can destroy the Reapers, or you can sacrifice yourself to control them, which means that the Elusive Man was just completely correct the whole time. Or if you were a very good boy, you can just fuse all organic and synthetic life in the whole galaxy. No matter what you do, the stargates that civilization relies on to travel through the galaxy get destroyed. And if you don't sacrifice yourself to become the Reapers, the cool AI species that maybe you have spent 3 games rehabilitating just also dies. Because, you know, player agency is a river in Egypt, and having one of the main core storylines of these 3 games revolve around brokering a peace between the Geth and their creators just sort of should end in just everything that happened in there being entirely annihilated and all your work having been for nothing. And let's not even talk about the green ending, shall we? Because goddamn, for a series that was actually reasonably intelligent most of the time, that's just the dumbest thing that they could have come up with. What do you mean, merge all organic and synthetic life? What does that mean aside from just everyone glows green now? Why does Joker have to break character to such an extent and flee the scene of the battle just so he can show up on a planet? Which part of the decisions that the player made actually made this happen? Because it seems pretty damn arbitrary to me. Just the level of bad that this particular ending is cannot be fathomed by mortal minds. So how do you fix it? How do you fix something this bad? Well, what you do is you cut everything that happens from the final elevator ride forward and replace it with this. Shepard comes into a room, and there's a switch. He flips the switch, there's a big old cutscene of the space battle where the good guys are losing, and then suddenly the Reapers all die. Boom! Done. Finito. I am willing to accept my Nobel Peace Prize now. Then you do what they did in the extended cut and actually show us what the characters that we have met over the course of the past few games do with this brave new world that has been given to them, because that's the thing we actually care about. The things that move us to tears in Mass Effect aren't the galaxy-spanning events, it's the characters. It's not curing the genophage that leaves us weeping, it's Morden's sacrifice. It's not the destruction of the Quarian people that hurts us, it's Tali's suicide. It's not the death of Aralak Company that makes the victory bittersweet, it is the death of Grunt. Or all of those things not happening, for that matter. We've spent 3 games doing everything in our power to defeat the Reapers. We have touched so many lives. We have moved so many mountains. You might as well just give it to us without cheapening all the decisions we have made. The decision making is over. All of the decisions have been made. All of the things that we have done have set the course for now. This is the point where all of the choices culminate. Don't make them meaningless by just making everything depend on one final choice. Make them matter, and make them matter to things we care about. That would have been satisfying. You don't need to put in a cool artsy-fartsy, oh look how smart we are twist ending at the end. It just cheapens all of the experience before. You're not clever because you do that. You're just pretending to be. Listen, maybe give Shepard like a heroic death because they can't handle the energy being released by the Crucible. Maybe have the circumstances that led to the green ending lead to an ending where Anderson survives. You could have gotten away with never explaining the Reaper's motivations. They were designed from the beginning as avatars of Lovecraftian cosmic horror. Lovecraft never explains the motivations of Cthulhu because they are beyond the grasp of mortals. Removing the Reaper's inscrutability makes them less scary because it means they weren't actually higher beings that you couldn't possibly understand. They were just being obtuse. But again, I do find the explanation that was given to be a decent one. Even though I do believe that it should have been given entirely through the Leviathan DLC. If only there had been a way to actually put all the story-relevant content in the game in the first place, and not piecemeal sell it after the fact as DLC. A lot of people also complained that the mass relays stopped working, and I actually think that could be a good thing. All this time, the sapient races of the galaxy could only develop along the technological paths that the Reapers had set forth for them. Now they are free from those shackles. This is what actually could have changed the Mass Effect universe in a meaningful way, as a result of what the player did, and opened the stage for interesting new games. The reason that FTL technology in Mass Effect is so slow isn't because it's limited by physics, clearly. It's because there's like instantaneous transport superhighways available, so there's not really an incentive to develop super good long-range FTL tech. Now you have created a devastated galaxy full of opportunity. How will politics and governance change in the galaxy? After all, its very geography has been fundamentally altered, and the seat of galactic government is now at Earth. How relevant is the Council still? Only about 1% of systems were actually ever properly explored. What about all the species that had fallen by the wayside of the railroads that the Reapers have forced us into? There's the war fleets of who knows how many gigantic empires now stuck in Sol System. the only major agricultural hub of which is not only super densely populated, but also devastated by a war. That's a very interesting humanitarian crisis. There's all these dead reapers not only in Sol System, but throughout all of space. What could we do with reverse engineering their technology? Does indoctrination still work? And now that the reapers are dead, what does it actually do? All future media in the Mass Effect universe would have been shaped by the monumental effort of the player and those they cared about. That could have been a good ending for Mass Effect. Of course, we'll never get any of this for obvious reasons, but we also never would have. BioWare was at that point really just losing its soul. It was in the middle of being digested by EA, as it had so many other companies in its bellows, and they are the masters of destroying entire franchises that people care about just to make like a couple more bucks. Which is true about basically the entirety of the AAA games industry. So a big ol' have intercourse with yourself to anyone involved in destroying what could have been one of the great science fiction franchises. May backers have no mercy on your souls. And yeah, basically, thank you very much for watching this video. I actually got very worked up about this because I kinda still care about Mass Effect. You might be able to tell from the Mass Effect books I think aren't actually visible. But I have Mass Effect, no actually they are on camera, they're right here. The last one is very bad. I didn't even finish reading it. Like, comment, subscribe, share this to your relevant communities, but do not spam them. Consider supporting me on Subscribestar or Patreon, or buying some of the merch that I have, or maybe buying my book. And as you can hear, my voice is still a bit fucked. And in that spirit, I mean, just pretend like the ending was good. I don't know. This is just, it makes me furious. And see you around, cunts.